delivery dates of a $1,400 fourth stimulus check specifically focused on Social Security, including retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, VA, and RRB. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, now this continues to be a very important topic that many of you here in the community continue reaching out asking for further details. Questions including, will there be a fourth stimulus check? How much will another check be? Who will be included? And possibly most importantly, when will we be getting a fourth stimulus check? All of which are very good questions and exactly what I want to focus on right here in the video as things continue to change very rapidly. So let's get into it and discuss all the details. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video. As I am your one and only daily advocate, I'm here for you right by your side every single day, watching all this new information hitting the wire, all the new announcements, and anything else that may be released, doing all the necessary research, and breaking it all down into these short videos so you can stay updated with what is actually going on, as it's an incredibly busy time, and like I said a minute ago, things are changing very rapidly, and ultimately I want to break all this down so you can see how this is going to impact you, your money, your benefits, your lifestyle, your bank account, and also point out anything that may be popping up that we can take advantage of, whether it's money, checks, benefits, raises to benefits, programs, or anything else like that. Of course, I want to make sure that you're getting as much as you possibly can, as I completely recognize money is very, very tight right now for the vast majority of people, especially the low income and fixed income beneficiaries. Regardless of what's going on, please remember I am here for you in any way that I possibly can be. That's my dedication, that's my commitment, and as always, I'm sticking to it. All right, thanks again. Let's jump into it and talk about all the details and, of course, the very important questions that many of you here in the community have been reaching out asking for further details. All right, let's jump into it and work our way through these one at a time. So, very good questions here, and like I said, things continue to change very rapidly right now, right? Like I've been saying for a while now, between now and the end of the year, realistically, it's only going to get busier and busier, and we've been seeing that month over month, week over week, literally day after day. We continue to get all these new announcements, new information hitting the wire. I mean, seriously, look at Congress for a second. Every time you turn around, Congress has got a new bill, a new package, a new proposal, something else they're working on, introducing. One of the lawmakers or a small group of lawmakers are coming out with, trying to get everybody else to jump on board with. I mean, seriously, there's a lot of stuff going on, right? They're trying to jam all these pieces of legislation through before the new Congress comes into session, right? So anyway, a lot of stuff going on here. However, before we get into it and talk about a fourth stimulus check, let me lay this out for you really, really fast here so that we're all on the same page from the very start. As of right now, a fourth stimulus check in any dollar amount has not been approved, okay? We could be talking about a $5 stimulus check, a $1,000 stimulus check, $1,400, $1,200, $1,600, or even $2,000, none of which have been approved as of right now, okay? So I want to make that very clear so we're all on the same page here, so there's no miscommunication and there's no confusion about this topic. However, let's talk about some of the questions that I continue to see literally every single day down in the comment section, and I do have people on a regular basis email me as well saying, hey, I heard, what about this? I heard another check is coming, I heard this, I heard that. Let's break it all down in this video. So let's talk about all the details here. First off, like I said, another check as of right now has not been approved. However, in just a minute here, I'm going to break it down for you and let you know what I'm watching very closely right now, because we're really seeing some things change in a pretty big way right now. And again, we've got to keep our eyes on some very certain things right now. All right, so let's quickly answer the questions, and again, that many of you here in the community have been asking. Who, what, where, when, why, how, and how much, right? When. All right, so let's talk through this one at a time here. So first question being, who would be included in the event of another stimulus check? That's a really good question. I'm going to leave this one up in the air a little bit because here's why. Depends on the economic situation. In the event of an economic situation that really, really collapses like what we saw in early 2020, and realistically, in my honest opinion, we're pretty much going to be seeing that, okay? Maybe not, but again, based on what I am watching out there, I think we're going to see a pretty deep, dark recession here happening unless we see some major intervention out of the Federal Reserve. And again, I do believe that is going to be coming as well. More on that in just a second. But who would be included? Again, depends on how bad it really gets. But I guess the main question would be, many of you here in the community want to know, will fixed income beneficiaries be included? Yes, 100%. There's no reason that you would not be included. So let's just get that out of the way right away. Who would be included? That's a really good question. How much of the population? That's a good question. Historically, the last 3 stimulus checks that we received, about 85% of the population was included. So a huge percentage. Only 15% of the people out there in this country, out of the 333 million people in the United States, were not included. Only 15%. Were fixed income beneficiaries included? Yes, of course, for all 3. So I don't see why that would change with another one in the event another one is actually approved. So I think that's what most people here in the community want to know. Will Social Security retirement be included? SSDI, SSI, VA, survivors, RRB, will you be included? Again, I don't see any reason why you would not be included. So for sure, of course, there's a high likelihood that you would be in the event there's another check that comes out. Now, how much? Again, that totally depends. As I've talked about in previous videos, history would show us that actually the next check should be $2,400. I know it sounds like a stretch, but realistically, over the last 3 recessions that we've seen, and all of which that distributed stimulus checks, the next one on this path, the next trajectory here would show a $2,400 check. And again, I know it sounds far-reaching, it sounds a little bit far-fetched here, but realistically, that is what the next one would actually show. But in my honest opinion, probably anywhere between the $1,200 to $2,000 range would honestly kind of be, in the range that I'd kind of be looking at once again. But again, it all comes down to how bad is the economic situation? Where are we with the economic situation? Is it deep and dark? Is it just a little touch in and we're going to dip right back out? Again, it's all kind of based on that. How much money really needs to be plowed into the economy? That's really what it comes down to. When they assess the situation to look at the economy and say, economy's not doing so good. How much money do we need? And they say, print up $2 trillion. Okay, get it out, right? That's what it's really going to come down to, is how much really does the economy need? That's what's going to indicate how much money goes out to the people in the form of stimulus checks in the event another one is actually included, right? So, most importantly, will there be another check? Again, it's all coming down to the economic situation. In the event that this economy continues to collapse, continues to crumble, things like that, then again, in my honest opinion, I feel like there's almost a high likelihood that there will be a check and almost unlikely that there wouldn't be a check, okay? Simply because this is what they do every single time. They print up money and they plow it out to the people in the form of stimulus checks. In the event that the economy does the same thing that we're expecting it to do, I can't see any reason why there would not be another check. In fact, there might even be a couple rounds of them. But again, we'll get to that as we cross that bridge. Now next, most importantly, like I said, when would we get it? That's a really good question. It all comes down to when this economy gets into a situation where they observe it and they say, okay, enough is enough already. The economy has basically fallen into a big, ravine. The thing has fallen off the side of the Grand Canyon. It's laying there at the bottom. It's time to bring it back up. Pull up the, what are they bringing? Cranes or something? Lower down the ropes and bring her back up, right? So that's basically what it would look at, right? So we need to watch the situation. It's all really coming down to the economy. So, as I mentioned a few seconds ago, well, it was actually probably a minute or two ago. Now let's quickly talk about the current situation, what I'm watching closely here, and why, everything right now is actually pointing to, more money being printed up and sent out in the form of stimulus. So, I'm watching everything closely. If you've been watching the videos here on the channel for any length of time now, you know that I watch a lot of different things very closely. I watch all the markets. Of course, I'm watching Congress. I'm watching the administration. I'm watching the Federal Reserve very closely and their interest rate policies. I'm also watching interest rates. I'm watching inflation. I'm watching the stock market. I'm watching the real estate market. I'm watching the bond market, and I'm even watching crypto. To be honest with you, crypto doesn't really play any role in this, but the crypto market is going to get absolutely whacked when it comes down to this market falling off a cliff. So again, watching all this stuff very, very closely. I'm also watching jobs. Jobs are going to be the key linchpin when it comes down to the likelihood of another check coming out. Why? Why is it all about jobs? Because realistically, to be fair with you, what does the government care about? They care about jobs. Why jobs? Jobs create production. Production produces the economy. The economy, as it's continuously moving, as jobs are created, as more people are working, as there is productivity, as people are producing more, the economy is getting stronger and stronger. What happens when the economy gets stronger? We have more tax revenues, and again, the cycle goes on and on and on. So they care about jobs. Jobs are very, very important in the eyes of the government because it's ultimately what, kind of what indicates what the economy is ultimately going to do. If there's job losses, we know that the economy is contracting. If there are job gains, guess what's happening? The economy is expanding. Businesses are growing. New startups are starting. Different sectors are growing. We're producing more, all kinds of things like this. Therefore, they need to hire more people. More jobs are being created. Therefore, more tax revenues being produced, right? It's all a big cycle. Like I said, it's all a big old circle and just goes around and around and around, okay? That's why you got to continue watching all this stuff closely. However, I'm doing it, so you don't need to watch all this stuff. But anyway, I'm watching all this very closely. So one of the key factors that I'm watching here very closely, number one, jobs. The unemployment rate, how many jobs are being lost, how many jobs are being created. We know that right now, jobs are being lost. Even though you would seem, and according to the reports that we're seeing right now, it looks like jobs are being created. Not really. Kind of depends. Higher paying jobs are being lost. Meanwhile, lower paying jobs are being created, okay? And again, these are just what the reports are showing now. So is this ideally what they want? I mean, jobs at the end of the day are very important, but we're seeing this shift right now. And ultimately, we're going to see even more jobs being cut simply because we know that different sectors and different businesses, big corporations, things like this, they're contracting. As a result of that, they're laying people off. That means people losing jobs, right? Okay, so we know this, right? The unemployment rate will continue to go higher. We know that the Federal Reserve is raising interest rates. We know this. Interest rates are going to crush the economy, right? It's like a big old snake wrapped around a sheep. I don't know. Is that what snakes do? I don't know. It's just an example, but you know my point here. So snakes, they wrap around their prey, right? And they constrict. It's the same thing that's happening to the economy right now. The economy is constricting because the Federal Reserve is wrapping around it like a big old snake, contracting onto the economy, kind of pinching it, right? They're squeezing this economy. We know this because of what interest rates are doing. They're contracting the economy as a result of raising interest rates. So another reason why I'm watching the Federal Reserve very closely, because the Federal Reserve is ultimately going to indicate what happens to this economy. Well, here's what happens every single time. The economy usually falls too far because the Federal Reserve raises rates too fast and too far. Therefore, the economy usually falls into a pretty deep recession. On the upside, well, let me take that back for a second. I went a little ahead of myself there. So when the economy gets into this situation, the Federal Reserve steps in and decides to do something they call quantitative easing, otherwise known as QE, or they've called it a variety of other things in the past, but generally what that means is printing money. It's a simple, sophisticated, and very smart way of saying printing money. That's all they're literally doing. Printing hundreds of billions of dollars every single month. For years, they were printing about $120 billion every single month. And when I say printing, I literally mean changing the digits on the computer, new money being created. That's all it really comes down to. So for many years, they were printing over $100 billion every single month of new money. So that's a lot of money, right? Well, in the event of a major economic situation where the economy is contracting quite a bit, they print up a lot of money, a lot of QE goes into the system, and they push all this money out to businesses, to the unemployed, to the people, as in us, through the form of stimulus checks, all kinds of different things. They print up tons of money. It's like a doctor's, it's like a medicine, right? So the doctor prescribes, 5 milliliters of this medicine, 5 days a week or something like that. Again, I'm just giving you an example here. Kind of the same thing with the Federal Reserve and the economy. They look at the economy, the patient, and they say, this patient needs 10 mils of this liquid, 3 times a day. And they say that's going to equate to $200 billion for the next 6 months, or realistically, the next 10 years is usually what they do, right? They've been printing money for a very long time. So the Federal Reserve decides, okay, based on the patient, the economy, we need X number of dollars. So they print up all this new money and they push it out into the economy. And again, exactly why we see stimulus checks during a recession. Is it because they're being nice and thoughtful? No, they couldn't care less about us. It's because they want the economy to be brought back up. And they know that if they send money out to the people, they give it to us. They know what we're going to do with it. We're going to spend it. The vast majority of people are going to go out to the economy and spend it. Now, when they give us a stimulus check and we save it, That's not what they want. They do not want a stimulus check saved. In fact, the last stimulus check that we got, the $1,400, a lot of people saved it. And they were looking at it saying, wait, stop saving it. Spend it. We want you to spend it. That's why it's called a stimulus check, otherwise known as economic impact payment. It's not a we care about you payment. It's not a here, save this money payment. It's not a here, put this in your college fund payment. Here, save this money payment. It's not any of that. It's a economic impact payment. Spend the money. They should just change the name to, please, spend me money payment. Seriously, that's what it should really be called, because they want you to spend it. The whole idea behind it is that if they print up, say, $350 billion and they push it out to the people in the form of a stimulus check, they know that a huge percentage of that money is going to be spent. It's a very fast, easy way to get a lot of money into the economy very, very fast. And they also know that a lot of this money is going to be spent on different things. One person might go out and buy, $100 worth of groceries. The next person might go out and buy a $100 pair of shoes. The next person might go out and buy $100 worth of clothes. The next person might go out and buy, a tank of gas, $100 worth of gas in their tank. It must be a pretty big tank, but again, you're getting my point here. It's all going to be spread out across the economy in different sectors. So they know that this is a great way to get a lot of money into the economy really, really fast. They know that. They've seen the studies before. We've tracked the money before with the other stimulus checks. This is a very easy and fast way to get a lot of money into the economy, and ultimately, it makes the people, kind of happy for like 3 days until we spend it all, and then we come back looking for more, right? So they know that this is an effective situation. In fact, stimulus checks are one of the fastest and easiest ways to get money into the economy. At the same time, what does it do? It spurs production. Why? Well, because we're out there spending all kinds of money, all of us, the consumer, all of a sudden in a very short amount of time, all of us are going out spending, say, $200 billion, $300 billion in the course of a couple days, maybe a week or two, and all of a sudden what happens to businesses? Businesses, large corporations get a huge run on inventory, right? We're all out there buying stuff at Walmart. We're all out there buying stuff at Target all of a sudden. And then what do? They look at their inventory and they say, wait, we got wiped out this week. Why? Because all the people got their stimulus checks. They came in, they bought us out, and now what do we need to do? We need to go to our suppliers and we need to buy more. What do the suppliers need to do? They need to go to the manufacturers and buy more. What do the manufacturers need to do? They need to buy more supplies so that they can manufacture more. Again, do you see the cycle here? It's the same old thing every single time. You know what I mean? So again, stimulus checks are incredible. They help out in a huge, huge way. But I think I may be getting off track a little bit on the whole delivery date part of all of this, but I wanted to lay this all out for you so you can see the actual cycle that happens. This happens every time, and this time is going to be no different every single time. So when it comes down to it, we got to watch everything very closely. It's all going to come down to the job market, the Federal Reserve and interest rates. It's going to come down to inflation. And of course, we need to see how deep does this recession get and what are the economic numbers showing? What is the GDP report, gross domestic product, showing? Is there production in this country? Is it slowing? Is it contracting aggressively? All of that is going to indicate who, what, where, when, why, how, and how much. Okay? Anyway, I hope this gives you a better perspective on what's going on right now. But again, this is a very, very important topic. Again, I know that a lot of you here in the community need money like yesterday / a year ago. I totally get it. But at the end of the day, it's a very slow-moving thing. But when this train derails, it's going to derail fast, and it's going to get ugly really, really fast. And when they see the situation happening, they also step up relatively quickly, and they do print money pretty quickly as well. So again, it's kind of a slow thing to get started, but when things start to hit the fan, it starts to get ugly real fast, and they step up, just like back in early 2020. What happened? Basically, COVID came into the United States in maybe January or something? Again, I don't remember specifically. I think it was about January of 2020. All of a sudden, by the end of March, so it was only like 2.5 months later, after COVID came here, everything was imploding, everything was collapsing, and guess what? They were already approving $2.2 trillion in the form of the CARES package, the stimulus package, and that contained the first $1,200 check. So again, they do it pretty quickly. When things start to happen, they actually do it pretty fast. They print money fast, they get it out to the people pretty quickly. So again, I know it's a slow process to start, but when things start to happen, it starts going pretty quick here, and they start to step up relatively fast because they see what's actually happening. Anyway, I hope this kind of gives you a better perspective of what's going on here, and I hope it answers your questions. But again, I'm watching all of it closely, which is why I've said you got to make sure you're subscribed down below. So as I get more details that are hitting the wire each and every day, I'm bringing it to you right here in these videos. So again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share this video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands and thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, thanks again for watching. I hope this answers your questions and better understands the situation that's going on right now. As you can see, it's a very kind of complicated, but at the same time, not that complicated. You can all see what goes on here. It's all highly correlated, and it all comes full circle. Anyway, enjoy your day. If you have any other questions, please leave those down below. I do my best to read as many comments as I can each and every day. Until next time, have a good one, enjoy your day, and I'll catch you guys.